But let's move into the final topic here on the Fast Break Podcast. However, I think if I understand Ricky correctly, this is the first one on YouTube. So hello to everyone on YouTube. If you listen on Blog Talk Radio still, thank you so much. We had one of our best months last month in April, so we want to give a huge shout out to everyone on Blog Talk Radio for supporting us there. And we want to thank everyone on YouTube as well. One of our best months on YouTube.
They helped the Fast Break just set the bar even higher for the audio listens.
And on YouTube, just it is total. We've been killing it at Most Valuable Podcast. So thank you to everyone over there. But let's go into our yearly tradition of looking into our crystal balls and predicting the NBA lottery. It's taking place in 10 days, 20 hours, 6 minutes, and 47, 6, 5, 44, 43, 42 seconds. We're going to look in and try to predict who's going to have the number one overall pick when it comes to the NBA draft in June. Ricky, I am going to go to you first because you already have your answer. You've already said it on the podcast. Again, put on the tinfoil and tell us why the Chicago Bulls will be the number one team after the NBA draft lottery.
All right, so I'm not as fired. I feel bad. I'm not as fired up as I was when I made that proclamation earlier in this year. It wasn't that much earlier. It was like a month
2 months ago. I mean, that's the thing is you've been sitting in it and you've accepted it.
The reason why I was so fired up right then is because I was editing the Outcast podcast, and in that segment for the NBA or for the Bulls, Juice said that he was like, oh, the Grizzlies are getting number one pick, the Bulls aren't going to get it, and I went, no. We complied with the league. They said, you got to play your starter. We said, no, we're trying to tank. Look at all these other teams tanking. Because we complied with the league, they're going to be like, fine, we're going to throw you a salad. They're going to give us the number one pick.
I mean, wouldn't that be like, they literally called us out for tanking? I feel like they wouldn't turn around and hand us a free number one pick.
Well, it's because we listened to them. We all go, all right, there's a little bargain here. We won't tank anymore. You scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. Major market not tanking. What are you going to do for us? Because we'll just tank that.
Real quick, let's. Do we feel like the NBA? We always have this. Is it rigged?
Yes.
We forgot to bring the tinfoil tonight, boys. I feel embarrassed. We needed props.
Is it rigged?
I need to get this man a captain's hat.
Carrot top?
Yeah.
Is it rigged?
It seems that way at times, man. I don't think every year is, but I think some years are.
I don't think last year was rigged, right?
Probably not. But I mean, like the Cavs getting
2 years in a row.
Yeah, that was after LeBron leaves. You get number one.
But wasn't it Dan Gilbert's son and then MGK the next year? He was the special guest that they brought along.
I don't know. I don't think
every year, but I think some years.
I believe the 1985 one with the whole frozen envelope with Patrick Ewing, and we bring this up every single year. Yeah. But I don't know. I think again, I have too much faith in the NBA where I could say this is rigged. Like I don't think there's clear collusion for teams to be gifted the number one draft. And I know there's some people out there that are like, oh, they want to give it to big markets. You know, why would they want to give it to Phoenix or Memphis? They're small market teams. But also, let's look at every single team in the playoff right now. Utah, killing it. Houston, bigger market. Golden State, bigger market. But then also, let's look at the biggest markets in the league right now. Brooklyn, not in the playoffs. New York Knicks, not in the playoffs. Los Angeles Clippers, not in the playoffs. Los Angeles Lakers, not in the playoffs. Dallas Mavericks, not in the playoffs. Chicago Bulls, not in the playoffs. Most of the large markets aren't in the playoffs, and the NBA is still thriving. So I think we're getting away from it doesn't matter who has the number one pick anymore. I know you have that connection of, stop tanking, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We'll give you the number one overall pick. But also, Chicago's still selling out. People still love the Bulls. People know the Bulls are going through a rebuild stage.
We're loyal.
And also,
we're loyal AF.
And also, Chicago fans have been going through rebuilds. White Sox doing it right now. It's still a Reinsdorf team.
A rebuild or a retool?
Rebuild for both. Okay. Also with the Chicago Cubs, they went through that for a couple of years. Bears right now going through it. Blackhawks did it as well. So Chicago's used to rebuilds, and they've seen the results it could yield. Yeah. So I don't think it's really that was a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're going to give you the number one overall pick. I don't think this is rigged. And if I'm just looking at the odds, if I'm looking at everything from the past, Phoenix has had such terrible luck. I think this is finally Phoenix's year. And I think the hire of Igor, not saying that they knew that they were going to get the number one overall pick. That's why they hired Igor. But I think just it's finally Phoenix's time to at least get the opportunity to right the ship. And I think they're going to have at least enough luck, not only with the 25% odds to get the number one overall pick, but I think it's finally their year not to fall down to 4. And Phoenix will finally break the streak and get a number one overall pick.
See, now the thing that I think about is, and I know I'm going into the NBA is rigged kind of a thing. Like, I'm going to look last year.
But why is it rigged?
Well, I'm going to look last year just as an example. If you look at the odds for the number 1 pick, that's the main ones I'll do.
Yeah.
Boston had the highest. Phoenix had the second highest. Phoenix even had the second highest at 55.8% to at least have a top 3 pick. They drafted 4. Like, and I get that some people might say, well, that's just how the lottery worked. But I feel like if there was like, and it was all happenstance, don't you think Phoenix would have had the ball bounce their way once already? And we wouldn't be making the joke earlier about, well, Phoenix are just going to get Phoenix.
But then what do they have? What do they have against Phoenix? I mean, they're just
not
have
a big
terrible
market.
luck.
They're not a big market. They're not like. Do you think? Put it this way.
Cleveland's also not a big market. Cleveland's like 19.
But I mean,
LeBron James made them number 1.
Exactly.
But LeBron
like you
James
said,
wasn't there.
Whatever team LeBron could go to.
LeBron
He was
wasn't
from
there.
Cleveland.
Huh?
He was from Cleveland. He was getting drafted.
That was
to
also,
Cleveland.
I'm pretty sure, again, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time LeBron James was the first time they were the number 1 overall pick.
Well, I mean, look at the Derrick Rose.
At least in the lottery.
Derrick Rose
in the lottery
from
era.
Chicago. Like, there's a lot.
We missed the play.
Okay.
We were the first team to miss the playoffs. Got the number 1 pick.
Who's the number? Who's right now? Who's been the number 1 overall pick that we've been mocking to Phoenix? Ayton. Where's he from?
He's from Arizona.
Both from the college and from the hometown. There we go. We got the hometown connection too.
Here's the thing I'll go back to. Just last year as an example, because we don't have that crazy hometown thing to look at.
I just gave you one, Ayton.
I know. I'm looking at last year because I'm not on it.
Oh, you're
the
talking
Rose
last year.
thing.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing I'll ask you. Fultz, Ball, or Tatum, do any of those guys make the Phoenix Suns a playoff team?
No. God, no. Like the past year?
This year that we just saw. Do any of those 3 guys move the needle for the Suns?
Fultz was hurt. And then Tatum, I think, has thrived because of the system in Boston. I think he's still a great player. But I think he's done as well as he has because of the system. And Phoenix was so tumultuous with Earl Watson.
Think about this. And I'm using last year as...
Ball would have been interesting.
I'm using last year as the reference.
think Lonzo
but
puts
think
him in the
about
playoffs.
this. Boston, obviously, the trade happened, so that's why they didn't pick number 1. But the reason why the league would want them number 1 is, hey, you know what? The East is crap. We need some team to be the, what's the word I'm looking for? The main number 2 to take on LeBron James, so it's not just a LeBron James cakewalk in the East. Let's make the East a little bit tougher.
Toronto doesn't count.
Yeah, let's make... They're proving it, though.
LeBron.
They're proving it, though, because, I mean, I'm going to say this for 2 seconds. Toronto fans, I gave you the benefit of the doubt that this is your best year. You are proving... Your team is proving that you can't beat LeBron. So, yeah, you are correct.
Well, you know why they can't beat LeBron?
Why?
Because he's the greatest player to ever pick up a basketball.
Or
he has more playoff wins than Toronto has as a franchise.
Or he is the meteor to their baby dinosaurs, as Colin Cowherd would say.
He's the meteor to every single team besides the Western Conference.
Besides the Warriors.
He's beat them.
Think about it, though. Well, Kyrie beat him.
No, LeBron beat him. Who had a triple-double in the NBA Finals.
Kyrie
Get out of
final
here.
Shot.
Okay, who passed him the ball? Who set him up? Who had the defense draped over him because it was LeBron taking over in that game?
Kyrie hit the final shot, though.
Who hit the final shot for the Bulls in the last game?
MJ?
Steve Kerr.
Oh, the very last game for Jordan? MJ.
Well, one of them was Steve Kerr.
One of them was also Paxson. So, yeah, you can say that. But back to what I was saying. You give Boston a number 1 pick. Ooh, it looks like it all chalked up because they were supposed to get it. Then why did the Lakers get 2? Back to Sean and what he was saying.
They had the second highest.
Lonzo's no, they didn't. The Suns had the second highest.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Lakers get 2 because who's sitting there? The big ball of brand, Lonzo Ball, LA kid going to LA. There's your theory right there. That could be why maybe
they
Phoenix
always
gets
seemed
it.
linked. Like, no matter where they were going to go, we always felt Lonzo was going to
But how do you for sure take that?
You lock it in.
You lock it in at number 2. And then the Phoenix Suns, the Philadelphia 76ers, another up-and-coming team that, hey, you know what? We're building up Boston. Let's build up the 76ers. Let's have maybe 2 teams that could try to take on LeBron and make the East tougher. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened.
I wasn't exactly a fan of Philadelphia after he kind of pushed out the
I know
GM
that, but it's like, what are you going to do? You going to shun that franchise? Or are you going to say, you know what? We need to make the East tougher some way, and we got to do it to make it tougher.
Interesting.
I mean, you could look at that draft alone and see why that happened.
That was Conspiracy Talk 101
very
with Ricky
conspiracy
Widmer.
talk.
Dave, thoughts on,
He's seeing some shit.
on that podcast?
I don't know if he's on anything, but he's seeing some things.
There's chemicals in the water. The NBA draft lottery.
The lizard people.
Adam Silver is a pawn put in place by the NBA owners.
Yes.
Go buy our NutriVitamins. Can block out Adam Silver's radio waves going into your head through the ESPN broadcast.
This is no longer the fast break. It's info
The NBA
break.
is going to take over Toronto and literally rename it LeBron. LeBron's going to be the mayor.
I didn't want a mic.
LeBron's going to be over.
No, I want Sean to keep
You know
going.
what? Alex
I
knows the whole
can't go
time.
anymore because I'll actually start getting
Before
red.
Dave does talk, I saw a meme on Facebook.
I don't even get to...
You know who Alex Jones looks like? Bill Dotrieve from King of the Hill.
Oh.
From King of the Hill.
Okay. Anyways,
Bill Dotrieve.
let's
What were
get
you
back to
gonna
the
say,
NBA draft lottery and the predictions, and not the NBA draft lottery conspiracy.
I was right on it until you.
You went on
brought
for
up Alex
5
Jones.
minutes about conspiracies and you give us a prediction.
Oh yeah, the Bulls. I said that right away. I said the Bulls are getting the pick.
But there's no hometown connection.
But
What's the connection? What's the conspiracy?
No. The conspiracy here isn't the connection. The conspiracy here is
big markets.
The league told us, "Hey, stop tanking." We said, "What are you going to do for us?"
All right.
They're going to give us the #1 pick because we did what they said.
After all of that, what are your thoughts, Dave?
It hurts my brain. Where are you going with this conversation?
Then
It really
take
does.
me to a better
A
place.
saner
Dave.
place? All right, so Philly goes 1, Phoenix 2, Cleveland 3. We're just ruining the NBA
Is it
here.
just because you hit sim lottery and that's what
I
came up?
simmed so many times to get this, I don't even want to be honest with you. I want either Philly to get the 1 or I want Boston to get the 2-3. I want it to happen so badly.
Jesus.
Could you imagine
if that happened?
Could you imagine if Boston walks away with a
with
pick
Marvin Bagley? If they got the 3 and got Marvin Bagley?
Disgust. I don't even know if they would take Bagley. It just would like.
Well, it's either him or Triple J, right?
Exactly, and a rebounding big whose defensive presence down low.
All
like,
right, you kind of said or Mo Bamba. They could take him too.
Terrifying. So yeah, I'm thinking we just go all in and just say, yeah, let's give it to Cleveland and let's go Boston. Let's continue to build the East. Well,
giving
Boston,
it to Cleveland isn't building.
That means they're gonna
East.
trade the pick though. That means
I
they get
guess,
Kawhi.
maybe. Yeah.
I literally just simmed the lottery, and this is how it's going to pan out. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Cleveland might trade the pick, but I think the 8th overall pick is still worth it. And I think if they're going after Kawhi Leonard, it still might happen if Kawhi is in such a dangerous aspect. We don't know what that situation is and what the relationship is. But if it's that dangerous and that tumultuous, as it's been reported by Adrian Wojnarowski, then they should be trading Kawhi Leonard. This is how it's going to line up: Phoenix at number 1, Memphis at number 2, Dallas at number 3, Atlanta at number 4.
I follow you.
Orlando at 5, Chicago at 6, Sacramento at 7, Brooklyn, but traded to Cleveland at 8. Number 9 has New York. 10
Didn't you say the same
via the
thing
Los Angeles
last year?
Lakers to Philadelphia. Charlotte picking at 11. Hold on, here's where it gets crazy. Detroit's pick got sent to the Clippers in the Blake
Yeah, it
Griffin
did.
trade. They're going to be picking 12. Then Los Angeles going to be picking at 13, and then Denver picking at 14. I simmed the lottery, and that's exactly what gave it to me. I didn't click reset. It gave me that.
But didn't you say that last year that nothing was going to change? And
you were totally off.
What? I mean, I was wrong about two
no, I'm
picks.
saying last year, didn't you say that, everything's going to stay the same?
Okay, I also bet my car. Like, guys, sometimes
lost it.
things get wrong. And I was like,
Lost
what?
it.
I missed
Before
4.
the podcast even went off.
Out of 14 picks, I missed 4. Right?
That's not a great percentage.
It's not amazing.
Whatever. What'd you say? Did you get it perfect?
Me? I don't freaking remember what I
That's
said
a
last
flashback
year.
Friday that I don't know.
Yeah, the Bulls are getting #1 pick, though, this year.
Dave was getting the #1 pick.
Flashback Friday when I'm right.
Here, real quick. Who's the top 3 then?
The top 3?
So Phoenix falls out?
Phoenix falls out. They're going to be at 4. I'm going to say...
Phoenix.
Do you want my real conspiracy or my honest what I think it's going to be?
I want whatever that means.
Whatever you want to do.
Just give me 3 fucking teams.
I'll go Bulls at 1. Bulls at 1, Sacramento at 2, Memphis at 3.
All right. How's that going to play out then? Who goes where?
So it'll
There's
be
a 1, 2, 3. Give me a top 3 mock draft.
So who's going to go where?
Yeah, who the Bulls taking at 1?
Bulls will probably take.
I mean, you
Luka.
had 2 months to think about it.
Bulls will probably take Luka, but I would prefer DeAndre Ayton over Luka. Then you have Sacramento. If Luka's there, would go Luka, and then the Memphis Grizzlies will go Marvin Bagley.
You said Bulls are taking Luka though.
Me personally, Garpax will take Luka. I'm going Ayton.
Okay, so
personally.
Ayton to the Bulls.
Doncic to the Kings, and then Bagley to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Dave, give me your top 3.
My top 3 is I'm going Phoenix at 1, Boston at 2, Orlando at 3.
Orlando, and I almost wanted Orlando in the top 3.
So how's that going to pan out?
Phoenix takes Luka. Right or wrong, it is. Boston walks with this draft with DeAndre Ayton.
Or do they trade the pick?
Or they could trade the pick.
What would you do?
If I'm Boston,
Trade the pick.
I don't know.
It depends who's interested.
Think about it.
The haul for a 2 could be pretty good.
But what would you want?
They need.
What do they need?
Technically, they need a 5.
Okay.
The best 5 in the league is not worth the potential of DeAndre Ayton.
But what I would say is,
Could they trade? And
I'm sorry, Anthony Davis. Who am I kidding?
I don't. But are they going to get rid of him?
No.
I don't think they're going to get rid of him.
They won't.
Think
Here's
about
the
it.
thing, fine.
Memphis is at 4. Why not swap the 2 and the 4?
No.
Marc Gasol
No.
goes over to
No.
Boston.
If I'm Boston, I want DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah,
stick
I'm
with
with
the
you.
timeline.
I'm with you. I'm sticking
and
with
here's
Ayton.
the thing. I think
No, I'm
DeAndre
saying
Ayton
if you
there.
wanted to trade.
I think DeAndre Ayton there is perfect though.
Exactly.
Because think about that lineup. You have Kyrie
disgusting.
Irving. You have Gordon Hayward. You have Al Horford, who I know again is small for the 5.
But
then you can
Al
push
Horford is
Ayton
a
out to the
maniac.
4 where
Exactly.
he wants to play.
He could play at the 4. He also doesn't need to start right away. Jason Tatum's in there. Jalen Brown's in there. Scary Terry's in there. Oh my God.
So deep.
Insane.
So
It's
deep. And
absolutely
then Orlando
disgusting.
at 3 gets to take the boy at point guard that they were promised for about 6 months of doing this.
Yeah. I know we
6
have
months.
a ton of Orlando Magic fans, so tell me what you'd feel
If
if
you
you got
got 3.
the 3rd pick and then Dave's picking you to take Trae Young.
Here's a question. How would Jake feel if this played out and Boston got that Laker pick?
He'd be hurt. Seriously.
And they got
Especially-
DeAndre Ayton.
No. It would only be improved upon by Boston beating them in this series going on right now.
Without Kyrie
So you
and
lose
Hayward.
the series
And you lose the
to a
lotto.
team without their best 2 players, and then you lose your lotto pick.
Well, and arguably,
And he's not going to be on the podcast until after the lottery.
This is from Philadelphia 76er great, Dr. J. Also, if you get the better player in the pick from last year in Jason Tatum
Christ.
over Markelle Fultz. Just saying, you'd beat him 3 times in a row.
In 1 year.
Yeah.
In 1 year.
Here's how I simmed it once. I like the way that this. No, I don't like that way. This is the way I liked it. All right. So this is how it's gonna pan out in my mind. All right? I'm not gonna go away from the lottery. My top 3, and this is how it's gonna pan out. There's gonna be 4 changes, like there was last year. Atlanta gets the number 1 pick. Phoenix gets the number 2. 3, Memphis gets the 3rd pick. 4, Dallas gets the 4th, and then 5, Orlando, 6, Chicago. Down the line, it's the same.
All right.
Here's how it's gonna pan out though. Atlanta's not picking number 1. Phoenix trades the 16th pick. Moves up to Atlanta, takes Luka Doncic. Then Atlanta takes DeAndre Ayton at 2 because Phoenix is afraid. They want Luka. They think he's going to be a franchise changer. We laid that out. Go check that out in the Igor Kokoskov topic that we just did. I think Phoenix needs Luka. I think it's a perfect fit. They're going to go get Phoenix. That's why Atlanta's going to move down, take Ayton, and then at 3, Memphis is going to take Bagley because I think he's a game changer.
What would you do,
especially for Memphis?
What would you do if this happened? I clicked Sim Lottery until I got one that was interesting.
Yeah.
Hawks get the 1st pick.
Okay.
The Clippers move up 11 spots to get the 2nd pick.
Jesus.
Memphis at 3, Phoenix at 4.
What do you do with that Clippers
I don't know. I feel bad for Phoenix. Clippers, I think they take it.
Well, I think Atlanta, you go. Would you go?
But that's the question.
Would you go
Who do you
Doncic
take
or
at that
Ayton?
point?
Because
Atlanta's got to decide who they're going.
For Atlanta,
I think
would you
Atlanta,
take? I'd go Ayton.
I would go Luka.
I'm going to go Luka.
Then what do you do for the Clippers? You take Ayton, or do you go with like a Michael Porter Jr. because you'd want a 3 over a guard or a?
Nah,
I'd take Ayton.
I would go. Yeah, I go Atlanta, Ayton, or no, I'm sorry, Atlanta, Luka, Clippers, Ayton. Yeah,
and then Memphis goes Bagley or Jackson.
Triple J. Yeah,
and then the Suns are stuck at 4 again.
Here's one.
Wait, so if that happened, if the Suns get pushed to 4 and that happens,
they're taking Bagley or Jackson, whoever's or Mo Bamba.
Do you think
I would say Bamba or Porter.
Ooh.
Because again, going off potential.
Yeah.
So Porter, plus
so
we're gonna see what
scenario.
he does at the combine because Porter, Jonte, and Michael are working at the combine.
Wonderful.
So
but you said Robert Williams and
Ayton are not working at the combine.
Ayton doesn't need to,
Luka isn't. He's not even trying out with. Yeah, he's not
still
trying.
Playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
because
he's gonna
real
be
men are
busy.
still playing basketball.
He's gonna be busy with
Shots.
with his job right now. It would be funny if he was like busy like working at a grocery store over in Europe and not like
just
playing
Kurt
basketball. Yeah, basketball in the EuroLeague. But again, here's the interesting thing that I wanted to throw out there. And I think whatever you guys just said made me forget it. So great. But again, we've been pretty much just simming lotteries and just saying, let's see what happens.
Except for mine when I said the Bulls are going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we made bold choices. I think Phoenix is going to get the number 1 pick, even though I just said Atlanta like 3 seconds ago. We don't know what's going to happen. Even though we don't know what's going to happen, what would you rather have? Again, this might be a stupid question in some people's mind, but I'll try to explain it.
Would you rather?
Would you rather have the number 1 pick, would you rather have the number 1 or number 2 pick, or would you rather have the 3 pick? Because this has been a discussion that we've had that consistently the number 3 pick for the past, I think, 18 years, the number 3 pick has always been it turned out to be 2 of the best players out of the top 3 players.
Either 1 and 3 or 2 and 3 have been the better of the 2 players chosen there.
And one's either
three.
And one's either busted or two's either busted. And we look at the
I think
top
there were
2
2
players.
years where the 3 was bad, but yeah.
And we've seen that at least in the top 2 players, DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic, we understand that they have the most potential. But Luka's biggest knock, and we've heard this from YouTube commenters, is that he's not athletic and he's not going to make it in the NBA. And I understand that we've all said that he's probably the safest prospect because he has that mentality. He's been playing basketball since he's 13 years old. He's a professional already.
Just
and
to say,
real quick, we've seen that big men without the defensive mentality, which he showed in Arizona, really don't pan out to the NBA.
I'm just going to say for the commenters, I am almost on their side, but not completely. I don't think Luka's going to be a bust, but I am not sold on him completely, and I like Ayton over Doncic.
Yeah, I mean,
choose between the two. Yeah,
watch your big board so you can see that.
Yep.
But I mean, for me, I would say give me the 3, and the main reason why has nothing to do
over
with
the 1 and 2. Isn't it so weird to say though?
No. And the reason why is think about, and I'll throw the NBA draft into it. Is Jay Glazer was on the herd before the NFL draft?
Yeah.
And he was saying that they're talking about Cleveland. He goes, you know what? They're probably sitting there going, Josh Allen's our guy here on Monday. We came up with our board over the weekend. Josh Allen's our guy. But then by Tuesday, oh no, Baker's our guy. And they're just going to fight with themselves to who's the number 1 on the board. Give me the 3rd pick. Let you take who you want. You take who you want. Then I'm kind of forced to just whatever. This is what I had. And it takes that pressure off of it.
While we're talking about the unanimous 1-2 between Luka and DeAndre Ayton, the number 3 is not unanimous by any means. There's like 5 guys in the running.
I mean, most people have Bagley going.
But also imagine if Porter's healthy. He might jump up to that 3 spot. And also, hell, if he's healthy, we saw that he was the number 1 player.
1-2.
We saw that he was the number 1 player coming into college. If he's healthy, and NBA players think he could be a franchise changer. Again, we don't know what NBA guys are thinking. If people think he could be a franchise changer, and they take him at 1, then you get a Luka Doncic or DeAndre Ayton because they just how the draft falls to you.
Yeah, no, I think the one thing you can kind of take away is no one knows what these kids are going to do at the next level.
No, we don't.
We're taking stabs at the dark based off of past experiences and what past players have shown.
And what we've seen on tape as well, what we've seen from these players.
Yeah, no, we're basing it on, this person's had success doing these things, looking like this, with this same body shape. So, yes, there's a science to it, but it's not an exact science.
Well, and we also don't know how these guys will react to the NBA, and we are not doing interviews with them.
You get stuck on a head coach that doesn't, run a system that works for you. You get stuck in developmental hell, like on the Magic. Like, you don't know what can happen.
Well, and another thing is, too, we don't know what these players are like, what their drive's like, everything. I know people, go and say, well, look at Josh, like just using the NFL draft, like go look at Josh Rosen's interview with Rich Eisen or with Colin Cowherd. It's media. It's different than personalities when the cameras are off. Exactly. That's something that they're presenting. And people might say, well, that's a job interview. They're going to be presenting themselves in the best way as well. But also, NFL teams, NFL scouts, and NBA teams as well have seen the common threads. And if they're pushing and pressuring these guys, they're going to see how they break down. So it's going to also depend on interviews. I just say it's interesting to say, though, because you even look back at the NFL draft that just happened. At 3, Jets get Sam Darnold, who I thought was one of the better franchise quarterbacks, one of the guys with the most potential to be a franchise quarterback.
But they didn't have to make the decision.
They didn't have to make the decision, and they got possibly the best player at the most important position at 3, and they didn't do anything besides trade up. So,
what's the most important position in the NBA?
Something can happen.
Point guard, shooting guard.
I don't think so. I don't know. I wouldn't say shooting guard.
Someone who can shoot.
Twang.
I would just say it's a star.
Point forward.
It's a star because it doesn't matter because we've seen that Steph Curry is the most important player on the Warriors.
Oh my God, he is a game changer.
Before KD, even with KD,
guys, someone who can shoot. Trae Young. He's it.
Watch Trae Young be the best player in this draft.
It could happen. It could happen. Like again, like Luka Doncic.
We all give him garbage about being
Luka
like
Doncic
Steph
might be a 16-year NBA pro, but he never might make an All-Star. Like he might never be an All-Pro, a first-team All-Pro. DeAndre Ayton might not ever play defense and might just turn into a one-way player.
Mm-hmm.
We look at Trae Young. Again, he might be a one-way player, but he might be able to hide that on a good team and just absolutely ball out like a guy like Steph Curry has. Also, Michael Porter Jr., again, he has everything talent-wise to do it. As long as he's healthy, he might be a star too. Mo Bamba, again, I love his body.
There's a handful of guys with that.
If he's able to work on
potential,
if he's able to work on a shot, then and just
Which
become more
he
consistent.
is.
Yeah, Mo Bamba could be the best player in this
You've
draft.
got the template for Mo Bamba. It's Joel Embiid.
Well, he also likes Joel Embiid too.
Yeah. So, anyways, let us know your NBA lottery predictions down in the comments below. Again, it's tough to kind of pan this stuff out because there isn't really a guess. This is why people play the lottery and consistently
There's
lose.
an answer. It's all a guess.
You gotta be looking.
We have this segment for conspiracy theories. Let's be honest.
And also, it does pretty well.
love
People
it.
like to
Yeah.
hear our
Next year, I'm
conspiracy
bringing
theories.
actual tinfoil in for us.
Next year, we
and
should
then you're
get.
going full Alex Jones.
No. Next year, what we're gonna do is we're doing our own lottery. I'll bring in a bingo thing.
Okay.
I'll bring in a bingo
All right.
lottery, and we'll do it because this was 29 minutes. We could do a lottery in 29 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll do it on segment, and then we'll do a mock draft.
Okay.
All right. Let's do that.
Yes.
That's gonna be next year. Hell, maybe we'll
right.
do it next week. If you want to see that, let us know in the comments down below. And this is gonna really depend.
Let's save it for next year. Let's put that into development.
Again, let's see what happens.
I don't want it to be rushed, is what I'm saying. I want this to be
We'll
as
see what
special as it
happens.
can be.
Let us know down in the
Postal
comments.
lotteries Wednesday.
Let us know down in the comments below. Why not? Well, who cares? Why not? Just let us know down in the comments below whether you want to see a true live lotto and mock draft.
It'd be so cool.
Down in the comments below. And also, this would be good because we'll see if people are actually staying this long to listen and watch this video in the 29th minute. But anyways, it's going to wrap up the Fast Break Podcast. For Dave Oster, Ricky Widmer, I'm Sean Anderson. Don't forget to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Check out Ricky Widmer's article on mostvaluablepodcast.com and the MVP shop over at mostvaluablepodcast.com. Also, don't forget to rate us 5 stars on iTunes, the Onside Kick, the Primetime Podcast, the Rick and Johnny Podcast, and the Fast Break. And also don't forget to check out Buzz and Juice on the Outcast. Danny Parkins of The Score is going to be on their show on Wednesday. But again, for these two bozos and me, we will see you next time.